Good morning, everybody. Let me welcome you on behalf of the Shree Hariharaputra Bhajan Samaj. We are indeed very grateful to so many of you who have followed us on our Facebook Live page, attending so many of the music concerts that we have organized over the last 3 months of the lockdown. I'm sure many of you are also eagerly looking forward to this session today by Shri Jayant Lapsia on the theme, how to live life meaningfully. Most of us know that Sri Jayant Lapsia is the president of the Sri Hariharaputra Bhajan Samaj, and he is that one person who has motivated every one of us to ensure that the lockdown period is spent more meaningfully, both in spiritual pursuits and charitable pursuits. In response to all his guidance, we have tried to do some work for the community in the best manner possible. So on this very special occasion, this Sunday morning, we have Sri Jayant Lapsia, who is going to talk to us on how to live life meaningfully. For those few who are not aware of his background, he is an industrialist who is very reputed, a philanthropist, a radio commentator, a spiritual thinker, an advisor to so many social organizations, a sportsman himself, and yet at the core of all this, a wonderful human being, so approachable, so ready to help people when they are in need. On that note, considering that this could be the right person who could share some of his wisdom with us this morning, I'm handing over the floor to Sri Jayant Lapsia. The format is very simple. We shall have about 30 to 40 minutes where Jayant Bhai will share some of his perspectives, after which we are very keen to engage in a debate and a discussion with the help of questions and answers. Over to you, Jayant Bhai.
Thank you, Professor, and very good morning to all of you. This is my second back-to-back session on how to live life meaningfully post-pandemic. But as is customary in my talks, before I start, I would request each and every one of you who has joined in to take a pledge that for the next 1 hour, 50 minutes or so, until whatever time the session ends, you will give your ears to me and listen intently, because listening is one thing which is very, very significant and important, because that motivates the speaker and brings the best out of him, and also your time is well spent. So as I always believe, as much courage it takes to stand up and speak, equally that much courage it takes to sit down and listen. Unfortunately, we have lost the art of listening. So I would request you that before I go ahead, that please switch off your mobiles, not even on vibrating mode, because you will realize that if you are without your mobile for the next 1.5 hours, you will be in a state of bliss. With that, I start well, friends. Today is the 115th day of the lockdown. Now, this is an unprecedented scenario in the lives of each and everyone, right from the age of maybe about 50 to 90-year-old or 100-year-old. Everybody says that they have never experienced such a situation ever in their lives. And this is something which we have to be mentally be prepared for, things to come in future. Now, what have we done in this pandemic period of 115 days? What has it taught us? Now, God has sent this particular pandemic with a specific and purposeful reason to each and every one of us living on the planet Earth. It is cutting across the barriers of caste, creed, religion, whether you are a Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, Jain, Buddhist, everyone and every corner of the world, everyone has been impacted. Nobody has escaped this aftermath and the ongoing effects of the pandemic. One salient feature of pandemic which is brought to surface, which we have realized now as we talk about the social distancing aspect in this pandemic, when it started, our Honorable Prime Minister started off saying that this is the key significant factor, that is social distancing. But for me, friends, the social distancing aspect already existed in our lives way back from 1997, 98, when the mobiles were introduced in this world. That was the time when we started socially, emotionally, and sentimentally distancing ourselves. So in this pandemic, the social distancing aspect limits and restricts ourselves to physical distancing, but we have already emotionally detached ourselves sentimentally and emotionally with our near and dear ones from the day we started having the mobiles. And over a period of 2 decades, now it's almost 20 years, we have become slaves of this mobile. I mean, no one can deny this fact. Trust me, if one day, even for about 2 hours, if the towers of mobile towers lose their power, the addiction of mobile is so bad that people will go mad. It's like a drug addiction. Now, this has altered. So when we are talking about social distancing, let us realize that God is now hit us on our head saying that forget your social distancing. You have already detached and distanced yourself emotionally, sentimentally, and now you are detaching yourself physically. Now you have to regroup yourself and get back to the old days where God wants to live, live all the human beings and his creations, whether it is animals, plants, the nature, we have to coexist and live harmony. And what we have been doing in the past 40 years or maybe 50 years post-independence has been really, really absolutely a radical change in the transformation of our cultures, our values, our traditions. No doubt, the invasion of Mughal invasion started the rut, and it was precipitated and worsened by the British. The Britishers actually ruined and killed our civilization, our traditions, and with that they brought in the Western culture into India, which actually diluted the very essence and the very rich old traditions and legacy of our Hinduism and of our religion, whether it is Buddhism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Jainism. Now today we have lost ourselves. Today we don't know where we are. Today we don't even have time to talk to each other. Friends, do you know one thing? Can anyone on this planet Earth decide, or can he think that how long are you going to live? God has sent you with a return ticket. Now this return ticket is so, you cannot exchange it. It is not extendable. You can't prepone it. You can't extend it. Nobody knows when you're going to go. Now, these are the lessons one has to learn from this pandemic, that once you know that life is full of uncertainty. Now, this 115 days of total uncertainty, you don't know when the lockdown is going to be open. And even after it is open, what is going to be the fate and the future? The entire dynamics are going to change. Dynamics of living are going to change. Dynamics of your relationships are going to change. So when you don't know how long you are going to live, whether you're going to live for 24 hours, you're going to live for 24 days, 24 years, or you're going to live up to 100 years. So what you should do in these moments of uncertainty is to make the optimum use to live as per what is prescribed in our Dharma. When I talk of Dharma, we don't talk in the Hinduism itself, we talk of every religion. And the misnomer in this world, unfortunately, religion has been so politically, people have exploited that for political reasons, that every religion has been abused and the essence of every religion has been neutralized. But if you take any religion per se, the bottom line and the salient feature of every religion is love, love, and love. That is, love each and everyone and live and coexist harmoniously. That is the bottom line and the essence. You don't have to read the whole thing. You don't have to read the entire Bhagavad Gita to be a spiritual master. But the essence is that, yes, do your duty towards the society, do your service, don't expect fruits. That is what you've been born for. And in this pandemic period where you're going to, still we don't know how many days, every day is a day of uncertainty. And the worst part is we are living in an age where we are being fed with so much of negativity by the media, by the press, by WhatsApp messages, by so many other sources, that our mind, our subconscious mind is loaded and filled with negativity. So we are not able to come to terms with ourselves, and that leads to despondency, that leads to depression. Friends, 500 crores of people on this planet Earth, God has planted in each and every one of us. No exceptions. We have all got immense talents. There are traits which each and every one of us possesses. There is no doubt about it. But the fact is that we don't know how to sort of awaken those traits and imbibe them, use them in our daily lives. You've already imbibed them, but you use them in your daily lives. It is like you have some change in your pocket. You don't know how much exactly the money you have. You then ask people whether you have money, but search your pocket and you know you have the change. It is like the simple traits which a human possesses, which you need to exhibit those traits in yourself, in your character, on daily life, in your daily lives. Those traits are, like I spoke last time, very simple. You don't have to, there is no rocket science. You don't have to spend any money. You don't have to, stand upside down. It is simple. What are those traits? Like devotion, sincerity, honesty, simplicity, service to society, removing your ego. And today, when we know that our life is so uncertain and how much we are going to live, yes, let us pray that we live for 100 years. That's not in our hands. But yes, our ambition and aspiration should be that we live for 100 years. Now, in this 100 years, are we going to live for ourselves, going to accumulate wealth, going to accumulate properties, going to accumulate high-end cars, going to go on exotic vacations? Are we living for that? Then we are living in absolutely a fool's paradise. The best way to live this pandemic has taught each and everyone is to live with simplicity, removing the complexity in our lives. Simplicity is the hallmark. And friends, trust me, just give up your mobiles and use it only for communications. Only for communicating with people when required. Just leave it alone and see the transformation in your life. Give up television. Now, when I talk to my friends and even family members, I don't watch television. I am a totally anti-television person. Save and except when I am doing my cricket commentaries where I'm forced to, because many times we do commentaries, overseas matches, looking at the TV from studios in Delhi, but nonetheless, what does television do? We are so mature, we are so educated, but we are not realizing the damage it causes us. Subconsciously, there is one element God has given in each one of you and us, is a mind called a subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is very, very powerful, and it's an atom bomb, ticking bomb. Without your knowledge, without your consciousness, the television images, the images of WhatsApp messages, everything gets registered in your subconscious mind, and that impacts your behavior, your outlook, and the entire your life which is going on. That is one of the reasons today we find people don't even care for their parents, or the brother doesn't care for the sister, or the sister doesn't care for the brother, or vice versa, so on and so forth. Exceptions may be there. Please do not take any offense. These are my personal views. So, I would make it very clear that these are my personal views, but I strongly believe that yes, today when you're sitting on a dining table, you find people sitting with mobile surfing. They don't even have time to talk, to ask the other person how the food is, whether you would like to share. No, nothing. Even if you want a helping, you have to ask that person to keep his mobile down. When you're sitting in the drawing room talking to one another, you find people surfing on mobiles. You have lost your sense of speaking. God has given you the art of, there are two good communication skills which God has endowed each and every human being is. One is speaking and one is listening. Today we are neither listening, we are neither speaking. We don't want to listen because our listening capacities have come down to mere, as I said last time, going by the British, that research which they made. It was about 12 minutes. Now I believe it has recently come down to about 6 minutes or so. Beyond 6 minutes, you can't stand. You can't listen. However much prolific a speaker may be. Because you don't want to listen to knowledge. You don't want to listen to, good ideas, good thoughts, good reformative thoughts which can impact and change your lives. Your mind is tuned to listen to rubbish. You have idolized the people over on the screen. Today we have idolized the actors. They are being paid. They are not glorified people. Why don't you glorify the soldiers who give their lives? Why don't you glorify great leaders like Nelson Mandela? Why don't you glorify great people like Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Vallabhbhai Patel? These are the icons. And these are the people who changed the history and the course of our country. But I'm talking about Mahatma Gandhi, Vallabhbhai Patel, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Lal Bahadur Shastri, and now, of course, our great Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji. Again, I am not a BJP man, but unfortunately, today we are living in a world where we still take it down, people abusing the Prime Minister and getting away with it. I mean, which world are we living in? Remember one thing, friends, as Shiv Khera in his book has always mentioned, and that's his key title, that if injustice is happening to your neighbor, and if you are keeping quiet, remember your turn is next. And this is certainly going to happen. Today we are living in a world where we are being bulldozed and ruled by treacherous people who have got vested interest and their own personal agenda. We are mature. Now, once you are out of the clutches of your mobile and television, then you rediscover yourselves. Start serving the society because you don't know how long you're going to live. Start serving the society. Be an integral part of society. So this will give you a great sense of security. Today, if you are a man of a society, trust me, you have great following, you have great followers, and you also become one follower. You have great impact in the society. You are doing a service that satisfies the conscience. And eventually you go towards a spiritual path by default, whether you like it or not. But if you go by conviction and by your own will, free will, that yes, I want to lead a spiritual path, I want to be religious, and we have to be. I mean, I strongly believe that there were, in between, there were a lot of talks that we should not be, religion was a taboo, and is still a taboo. People said build old age homes. People used to come for donations, old age homes and destitute homes. Yes, I mean, that is, I think, the duty of the government. Whatever existing temples are there, let us not build more temples, but you need an institution with a religious background to have a strong, solid foundation and a base for your conscience to remain intact. Now, if you are a religious person, today, unfortunately, even the prayer, what we pray has lost its essence and the purpose. We go to temple, close our eyes, we pray to God. God, please, what we pray is give me wealth, give me power, give me position, give me promotion, give me bungalows, give me cars. We are after material things. What are we praying for? I mean, the whole essence of our prayers have been, lost and diluted. Today, we should even learn to pray, even though you may say that you may be praying for 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day, or you may be observing so many of these rituals which are annually in your calendars. But eventually, bottom line, what is the outcome? What is the result? The result is negative because what you're praying to God has got no sense. Because as I told you, when you pray, you should just close your eyes in front of God and surrender to Himself and tell Him that, boss, I mean, you please don't use the word boss. I'm just communicating, just telling you that please, you surrender yourself to God and tell Him that to help you to lead the life the way He wants. So that, He is pleased and then He guides you to live. And what is our scriptures saying? Today, okay, coming back to Hinduism or Jainism or whatever, our Indian traditions and Indian religions, I would say, friends, we are living on actually a time bomb. Come 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years, none of you are aware that Hinduism will be extinct. I'm not joking, I'm very serious. Today, we are running a religious institution. Sri Hariharaputra Samaj has a wing called Shankaralin Sansa, which looks after the temple activities. Likewise, there are so many other temple activities, and we have been interacting with the office bearers of so many other temple institutions. And one of the greatest drawbacks and one of the greatest fears all of us have is that what next after 10 years, after 5 years? Because even like I said, we don't know how long we are going to live. Now, where's the second line? Who's going to take forward a Dharma? And once you lose your Hinduism, which is not a religion, it's a way of living, it's a way of life, friends. Please don't, whatever politicians say or whatever now we are talking about Hindutva and they are abusing. It's nonsense. We are living in a land where Lord Rama was born, Lord Krishna was born. This land has been blessed by so many gods and goddesses. It's a fact. It's not a myth, nor is it an epic. These are real stories. The God has blessed this earth. You are living in a very pious, holy land. Now you're going to lose it. You like it or not. You go to, there are so many temples. Now in this pandemic, we have seen appeals coming from so many small temples. They don't even have money to burn the oil in the sanctum sanctorum. What does Hari say about this? Whereas you look at the other side of the other religions, they are flourishing. And yet, Charles Darwin theory, survival of the fittest. And we Hindus including Jains, Sikhs, everyone. Today we are losing our culture. Our children don't want to take on the religion. They feel it's a taboo. Religion is meant for people about the age of 65, 70, or maybe 60. Now, do you know you are going to live up to 60 or 65 or 70? I mean, who's going to tell them? Getting foreign, going to, like one I mentioned in my last talk last Sunday, this pandemic has also taught us to live together as a family. It's a holistic family. Now today we are all absolutely disintegrated. What is the need to send children abroad for studies when you have got so many courses in India? Why do you? I mean, earlier, 50 years back, 60 years back, or 70 years back, our parents used to have 8, 9 children, 10 children. But there was a scientific, there was a spiritual, there was a traditional, there was a great reason, significant for that. Social security, a lot of things, emotional security. And in times of crisis, the whole family was together, lived together, and there was joy, there was no mobile, used to interact, a lot of talking, a lot of listening, the two powerful tools of communication which God has endowed each and every human being working optimally used. Today, nothing. You don't listen, you don't speak. You are glued to your mobile and television. That's it. When somebody asks you or talks to you when you're watching your mobile or reading some messages, you get irritated. Tolerance powers have dropped down to nearly 0.08% as per the studies of the American Medical Council. Tolerance power, whether you believe it or not. When you're talking on your mobile to a friend, and if your son or daughter interrupts for a genuine reason, you just throw the mobile or throw tantrums. That means this has overtaken your lives, this has overtaken your relationships, this has overtaken everything. Now, one day, from if today you take a vow that yes, in a week, gradually start it. Detoxify yourself. Digital detoxification is the call of the pandemic. Digital detoxification, and the day you do it, any pandemic which comes in future, we never know. This is only the beginning of the shape of things to come in future. Any digital distraction, I mean, detoxification, if you start now, you'll be able to face anything in the world. You'll be such a strong person. Start communicating, start talking to your friends, start serving the society. See the difference it makes in your life. Now, today you have become an absolutely a buffoon in front of this. You have lost your, you've got so much of wealth, so much of knowledge, so much of exuberance in you. You have lost everything. Subconsciously, you've lost it because the subconscious mind has overtaken and is ruling you, and you have become a puppet. You don't know what you are doing. You may have degrees. Like I said, IIMs, you may go to London School of Economics, you may go to MIT, you may go to Harvard, you can go anywhere. But end of the day, why have you been, born on this planet Earth? So why don't you stay with your parents, stay within the family, the four walls? What is the need? Today we have got big houses, but we don't have a home. We don't have hearts. Even if we have about 4 bedrooms, and if you have 2 guests coming extra, you get paranoid. I mean, you have sleepless nights. How are you going to accommodate those 2 guests, even if you have a house of 3,000, 4,000 square feet? And earlier we were living in houses of say 250, 300 square feet, and there were 20 people living. You were living so happily. There was not a moment of despair or sadness. So friends, realize, wake up. This pandemic is the time when God has really taught you and teaching us, not taught you, but is still teaching you and us, that get back to the old ways. Don't run after money. Don't run after big houses. Don't run after high-end cars. Don't be distracted by digital. Yes, digital cyber age you are in, you have to adapt yourself to it undoubtedly, but for the intended use. Internet intended use. You have to communicate fine, but don't whole day sitting in front of YouTube. Now I've been talking to people, what do you worry, kya karega, whole day, yaar, bore ho gaya. Pura din YouTube mein, I saw this, I saw that, then I saw television, and trust me, what does television give you? As I drifted away and coming back to the television. I happened to see when I was sitting with my family, it was an accident. Not that I watch television, but by default I was. And I realized that one serial of 30 minutes. Now see how much fool we are made, and we also play. I mean, we become fools knowing a serial of 30 minutes. The content is only about 11 minutes. And the rest is all advertisements. And what is the standard of advertisements, quality of advertisements? Rubbish. Now for the content of 10 minutes of 30 minutes, say 20 minutes of advertisements and 10 minutes of that serial, your subconscious mind is being fed with 20 minutes of garbage, of vulgar advertisements. The advertisements which are being shown, the products have got no relevance to what is being projected. Now, if you raise hue and cry, some time back, there was an ad of some tough shoes where one couple was shown naked with a snake going, or wrapped around their body. And the product was shoes. Now, does it make sense? When there was a hue and cry by social activists, what did so-called liberals say? That this is an art. My foot, this cannot be an art. Shoe and art? Are we mad? Which world are we living in? You're wearing shoes, nobody is going to look at you down. Only you look at God's feet and your guru's feet and your mother's feet and your father's feet, period. Nobody is going to see what is the brand of your shoe. Now, these are the ads like tough shoes, and you have various other ads which have got no relevance to the product. But they are marketing, they are glamorizing, and the same old film stars, and these film stars we idolize in our lives. Recently, there was some suicide by one of the film stars. Again, these are my personal views. Sad, unfortunate event. It shouldn't have happened. Sympathies to the family and to the soul. May it rest in peace. But where are we? What? Film stars paid for it. He was working for it. He took a step. But today, people, I see youngsters investing their precious time on WhatsApp and Facebook and internet, exchanging that, we should hold this, we should do candle march, we should do this, why he died, how people crying, and you're forgetting what you're living for. Why don't you go and help the people who are struggling? There are so many poor laborers. There are so many poor people who are not getting their food in this pandemic. There are so many poor people who are struggling to make one end meet, forget two ends meet. You forget that and you're running and idolizing after actors who are being paid and glamorized. And today, these are the people who are, sort of monopolizing the advertisements. They are monopolizing everything. Now, today, what the parents want, now, again, coming back to the pandemic, what has it taught us? That what culture and what are we inculcating in our children? Studies is not everything. You may get 100%. I don't think it makes a difference. Even if you get 50%, I think you can be a brilliant man. But today, what are we inculcating in our children? Today, we as parents are also responsible, because we as parents are more greedy than the child, and we actually spoil them, because every parent wants his child either one to be a great cricketer. Why? Not to play for the country. Yes, to play for the country, but not with the intention to win for the country, but with the intention that if he plays for the country and he becomes a great cricketer, he will have tons of money, he will have tons of wealth, he will have a lot of glamour, girls will run after him. So that is one of the reasons parents want their children to be great cricketers. 90%. Challenge me, 90%. You invest your entire savings, everything on the child, that he becomes a great cricketer. And we have seen a lot of scandals erupting, that people trying to bribe the selectors and getting their children in, because they know once you are there, the amount of perks and what follows when you are a cricketer is enormous. IPL, the monies, or you become an actor. Why? Again, because a lot of money and glamour. So we are running after glamour and money, but we have lost our ethics, our values, our core values. We have lost the art of respecting our people. Now, once a glamour, you are glamorized. You are a glamour. You are an idol. You are a public figure. Then what parents, what siblings? Nothing. Then you are in a different world. You are not on planet Earth. You are on some other page where you lose your sense of responsibilities. Because then what happens is you are living in a zone where it is not compatible to the one which is as per the Dharma. What does Dharma say? Our Hindu Dharma or any Dharma says that live life with simplicity. Now, this is not simplicity. If you are aspiring for wealth, fame, power, and then running and chasing that, that means you are totally at a different tangent. You are at a parallel to your Dharma. So don't think that become, yes, naturally, if you are a gifted cricketer like Sachin Tendulkar or Sunil Gavaskar or Mahendra Singh Dhoni, so be it. I'm not saying that, no, you should not be a cricketer. Please don't mistake me. But don't aspire and push your child that you be a cricketer with the intent. See the intent of the parent, that yes, you be a cricketer, because I know I have seen people, parents talking that I want my child to be a cricketer so that there's a lot of money and a lot of fame in that. No, that intention is wrong. Acting also is not bad. Again, I'm not against actors. It's a way of, it's their livelihood. Various professions. Today, this world has thrown up various professions. Digital world has thrown us various professions. You have Facebook ads, you have ads on so many other digital medias. Nothing wrong. But let it not go into our head, and let we not succumb and become puppets so that we idolize these people. You idolize your own person in your neighborhood who's doing a social service and uplifting the standards and the living of the underprivileged. Idolize such persons. The need of the hour in the pandemic is that you to idolize people who are risking their lives and fighting and helping people who are suffering. By idolizing these people who are actors and all, glorifying them. And the worst part is trying to relive your life as per their lives. The way they dress, the cars they have, the bungalows they have, and the worst part, the worst enemy is the media, print and electronic media. Today, take the newspapers, the front page is full of negative. I've stopped reading newspapers. You don't need to know the news. You'll get it in your ears. Somebody will come and say, hey, this is going to happen, so be it. Full of negativity. And today we glorify crime, rapes. Today, why? Why do you do that? Why do you glorify crimes like rapes and murders? Then the next page you flip, it's all about film stars. Page 3. Page 3 is something which today is a status symbol. If you appear on page 3, your day is done. You become a celebrity. Why? Because you are on page 3 with all the film stars and others. What is this? Are we living for that? These are all short-lived joys. And this will lead to depression. Trust me, these are all momentary things, momentary joys, which will just like a flash of light will survive for seconds, fleeting seconds in your lives. This glamour, this wealth, and this power and everything will last for fleeting seconds, which will look like fleeting years, may look like many years. But when the real time comes for you to live, after that, you will be in a state of depression. And that's why it's a fact, you read in papers. Today also I read in one of this, like I said, I don't read newspapers, but today I was forced to read for reasons of business angle as to what, steps government has taken on certain economic fronts. There I found that many of the B-grade actors of television are now selling vegetables and various products to make ends meet because the shootings have been stopped for the last 4 months. So you have been now grounded, you have been brought down to, like a thud, you have fallen from the heights of glory to depths of despair. This is life, this is what life will do to you. Imagine just about 4 months back, you were just in a state of ecstasy because you are an actor, B-grade actor. And today what has happened is you have been now, you're on the road, you are running after people, begging them to buy vegetables and wares. Harsh reality. Today, children who are studying abroad, today they are in a state of fix because they know their parents are alone. Now, so many cases come to us. Aged parents are alone in India. The students are studying there or working there. I would say that if you want to go and study abroad and settle down, please take your parents with you. Don't leave them behind. Because trust me, friends, one thing you're missing in life is that whatever qualification you may get from IIM or from Silicon Valley or from MIT, whatever, maybe you are the Google's top pitcher, maybe you are an excellent, degrees you have. You may go abroad, you may settle down, you may do everything. But if you don't have your parents or your family with you, it has got zero value. And when the time comes, and when your accounting is done by Chitragupta, your marks are zero. What 100% you get in SSC or 12th standard or in your graduation or post-graduation, you may get 100%. But when you die and go up, Chitragupta will give you 0 marks because you have sacrificed your parents and your siblings and you have forgotten to live together. Yes, you may go. I'm not saying don't go abroad. Go and study. Go for the intended purpose. Like same thing like digital. Go study, come back, but don't lose the connect with your parents. Why are you born? You have been born to live with your parents, to serve your parents. See the rich history. Read Mahabharata, read Ramayana, which are factual epics of our country, which tell you how to live. Shravan, this is the month of, very soon we'll be having the month of Shravan in this. You know what Shravan did, how he looked after his blind parents. In old days, these were the values where children used to worship their parents. They were the gods and goddesses, living gods and goddesses. They were in those days, actually they are even today, and they will be in future. But we have left it behind. We have left it in the history. We have consigned it to history that our parents were. No, they are. Today we find old age homes, yes. Why old age homes? Why do you need them? Once if you are attached to any spiritual organizations and you are doing social service, now this is where you should pay attention. Now, if you are dedicating and devoting your time towards social charitable services based out of a religious institution, trust me, your conscience will be so hard and strong and cemented that you would never like to leave your family bondings. Because the fear of God will be in you so much that you are doing something against your conscience. Surrender your conscience to God. Why do we go to temple? Now, from today, when you go to temple, all you have to do is surrender your conscience to God. Just hold your hands, pray, and tell Him to take over your life. Don't ask for all these things. My child should pass in an exam. My child should get his visa. He should get an admission in foreign university, so that in kitty parties, the ladies can talk. My son is studying here. Then in business circles, the husband will do, my son is studying there. But do you realize that you lost? Why did you give birth to the child? To send him away for years? Ram and Sita, Lakshman went into exile for 14 years. But they had a lesson. Actually, those 14 years, if you read Ramayana, and please reread, the 14 years of exile had a lot of teachings and education for each and every one of us. One was out like Lakshman, how to behave with your own sister-in-law. When Lakshman was asked that the jewels were shown to him, he said, "No, I always look at the feet of my, sister-in-law because she's my mother. I consider her as my mother." These are pristine values which we have lost. Today, the sense of dressing, gone for a toss. Today, the torn jeans cost 10 times than the good, quality pants because it's a fashion. Beggars actually used to wear torn clothes, and we used to sort of give them our used clothes so that they could avoid wearing torn clothes. But unfortunately, today our children are wearing torn clothes. And that's a fashion, and you spend, I was told that these jeans cost like 7,000-8,000 rupees. Where are we? What are we doing? We have no value for money. Now this 7,000 rupees, why don't we wear a simple pant? And for about 500 and that balance 6,000, give it to some poor fellow. Let him, raise his standards. Your duty is to raise the standard of your society. Once the society you are living in, if you help to raise the standard of others, trust me, your standards will go higher. You will be elevated, you will be spiritually elevated, and you will become a guru yourself. You don't have to learn Upanishads, and you don't have to learn the scriptures to be this. In Kali Yuga, God has made it so simple. Kali Yuga, we are fortunate that it is the most simplest of yugas compared to Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, or Sati Yuga. This is the only yuga where God has made it so simple because He knew that human being is going to be so selfish and so greedy, and he will get himself intertwined into so much of complexities that he will forget the way of living, and that is what has happened. 99% of us. Today, any spiritual guru comes or a Shankaracharya comes and you have a discourse. How many of us go there? It's pathetic. You have a crowd of 50 to 100 people listening to it. Out of 50 to 100, at least 30 are on the mobile, surfing their mobiles for WhatsApp messages. An enlightened person like a Shankaracharya, there are about 4 said by Adi Shankara. Today you have 4, and at least we are connected to Jagat Guru Badri Shankaracharya, Sri Vidyabhinav, Sri Krishnananda Kirtama Swamiji, who comes to Mumbai to our Shankaralaya. And I feel so bad when during his pravachans, there are 50 to 100 people. And everyone, after about 15-20 minutes, keep looking at the watch, keep looking at the mobile because they feel that it's too long. Now, listening to him itself is like listening to God. It is God who is speaking. So even if he speaks for 4 hours, 5 hours, you take it as a blessing because this is a direct blessing from the God to you, and this will detoxify you spiritually, mentally, physically, physiologically, in every way. But no, after 15 minutes, you start looking, hey, and in Tamil, that usual, typical word, means, hey, what is this here? It's like an axoblade. What it's going on and on. Where are we heading? But the same, if a discourse was being done by an underworld don, or by, say, Shah Rukh Khan or Imran or Amir Khan or some Khan, 1 hour is nothing. 2 hours, 3 hours, you will sit there. You will go on taking photos. You will go on your mobile, taking his photos, and you will sit there for 2 hours. That time, your food, everything you will forget. So realize that you have drifted. And this pandemic, God wants you to come back. Otherwise, you are in doom. Because today, if you stop reading reports, because even World Health Organization, even if they listen to me, I'm happy that they are coming with contradictory reports every day. And every day, every so-called, and unfortunately, not only in India, in world, you have 500 judges. Like in cricket commentary, we always used to say that you have got in India 130 crore selectors, because each one feels that and you have 130 crores expert opinion givers, because they should have, they always say that no, Sachin should not have played this shot. Somebody will say he should not have bowled like this. Likewise, in this planet of 500 crores judges. No, this is not the way. Don't be judgmental. It's a very simple way of living. Be very humble, be very simple, be very polite. And politeness is the key to your character. What harm? Because I said you don't know how long you're going to live. Today you're talking, the next moment you're gone. We have seen a couple of cases where people have been hale and hearty, and the next minute, flash of a second, you find that man is no more or she is no more. When you are living under that scenario, and it's nobody is an exception to this scenario. No one. God has made it very clear. There are no exceptions to this rule. For other things, yes, there may be exceptions to this rule. But when you know that you're living on this earth is absolutely unpredictable and it's in a state of uncertainty, the least God wants you to do is put up a smile on your face and live politely and respect everyone. Don't boss. Bossing is something which actually inflates your ego, which is already there. It not only inflates it, but it inflates it to such a level that it overtakes you. And then your entire character, your goal, your purpose, everything in life gets defeated. This is not the way we are living for. Try to be more helpful, more closer to your family and towards the society. Two duties which God and Bhagavad Gita has prescribed. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna had stated, and even during the war, he told Arjun, the purpose of living, everything is predetermined. God has determined everything, even your scriptures, your birth, everything is determined. But he says, I want to see how you reach your goal. Your goal is there, everything is there. I've given you tools. I've given you tools of simplicity, honesty, devotion, faith, hope, everything I've given you. All you need to do is, with the help of these traits, you can reach your goal. I can't change your goal. See, your entire script is written, but how you navigate using these tools in your lives, which are oriented towards serving humanity, serving mankind, and mankind includes your family, starting with your parents first, and then rest of your siblings and your society. Don't live for yourself, live for others. Others will live for you. This is a simple, elementary thing Lord Krishna has said, which we have forgotten. Once you start living for others, trust me, God will live for you. That is what God wants. But unfortunately, we are not living for others, we are living for ourselves. And today we are not even living for ourselves, we are living for our mobiles. We are just living for mobiles till we go to bed. Morning when we get up by default, earlier 40 years back when we used to get up, we used to close our eyes, meditate, pray to God and tell him that please, this day 24 hours, next 24 hours, please guide me and please help me and make it purposeful. But today, the moment our eyes open, the hands go on the mobile. First thing you see how many messages you have got. At 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night, people get up and see their messages. I mean, that means you have finished. You have lost your life. The whole purpose of your life is lost. Why do you have so many motivational speakers, inspirational speakers, so many classes? Because they want you to realize that you are living in a fool's paradise. I don't think any motivational speaker will touch this particular aspect. Today, I am not talking that, yes, you do this so you become rich, you do this, you become successful in business. No, if you do this, you are successful, and this success encompasses your entire gamut of life, including your business. Because if you're a man of simplicity, you will learn to respect your parents, you learn to respect the nature, you learn to respect the society, and you learn to do charity. You have won the battle. You have won the battle. Then you will be a flourishing businessman. Look at Tata's. Look at Shapurji Palanji, Afghans. The way, I mean, they have been doing philanthropy. Look at them, the philanthropy they are doing, nowhere in the picture. I mean, these are the people. Or take Godrej, for example. Godrej is the way Godrej has done philanthropy. And Whether we like it or not, they all come from a clan of Parsis. Shapurji, Palanji, Tatas, Godrej. They have done it with the heart. I'm not talking, I'm not belittling or not saying that others have not done. But these are inspirational philanthropists. And I would rate Afghans on the top. Tata's, yes, on the top. Godrej on the top. All three, no gradation, 1, 2, 3. This is the fact of the life. Now, if we are earning, we are not earning for ourselves. Don't, today, what is another greatest misnomer we are in? Stock markets. First thing in the morning after your WhatsApp message is this, that half an hour you do, then your markets open at 8:30 and I don't know what time because I'm not a stock market player. Then you go to stocks. Then your heartbeats increase or decrease depending on the fluctuations in the market. Why? Why don't you be content with what you have? This pandemic has taught you that yes, a simple dal, chawal, roti, sabji is good enough for survival and for health, for good health. You don't need to dine in fine dining restaurants of 5 stars. Dal, chawal, roti, sabji, basic food is good enough to keep you healthy and away from the coronavirus. Eat healthy food which is homemade, cooked by you. Then this impacts you. So 50% of the people in stock market, the study shows that 50% have got super hypertension, 80% have got diabetes. Is it worth it? Are you going to invest your wealth? Invest your health for the sake of your wealth. Screw your life for the sake of your wealth. Be content. Yes, earn so much that it is self-sufficient. You have something, yes, in store for rainy days. Bhagavad Gita also says that yes, you need something for the rainy days, but anything in excess is bad. Wealth in excess is disastrous. And as per our scriptures, as per Manusmriti, it is very clearly ordained that any excess wealth will bring in disaster and destructions in your lives, and it has been proved in the history for the last 1,000 years. Too much of wealth attracts negativity. It's a science. You like it or not. You lose relationships. You invite a lot of envies. You invite a lot of jealousy, and so many negative traits. But I'm not saying that be a pauper. No, have wealth. What you require to sustain your family and the society. 25% of your earnings you must give to the society. You must be a part of a society, any spiritual organization. You must enroll and be and do service in a day. Don't think that service is to be done by people who have no time, or people like Jayant Lapsia, you have got ample of time on hand and they will look after Shankaralyan. Certainly not. It's your duty also to help people in society and also be a part of society, because you have to run these institutions. If you want your next generation to live a life worth living on this planet, friends, trust me, 10 years down the line, when your dharma is eroded and it becomes extinct, imagine the fate of your grandchildren and your children. It's very scary. You may take it you may be taking it with a pinch of salt. Running a spiritually religious institution, I realize the gravity of the situation, that how we people, educated people, corporates, our Hindu corporates, turning away donations and contributions towards religious things, but they say no, we will give for building old age homes, and so that you encourage more people, more youngsters to put their parents into old age homes. But you don't want the society to perish. Now, if you have these societies, like say Hariharaputra Bhajan Samaj, which is into a lot of social charitable activities, helping the underprivileged, we have education, we have so many things. It gives you a sense of satisfaction. It gives you a sense of peace at the end of the day, that you're doing something for the underprivileged. Try and experience that. Be a part of it. Today, I have friends in our Samaj, like Professor Mani, like Mrs. Meera Raman, who is the chairperson of our ladies wing, her husband B. Raman, who is the secretary. They are all doing a fantastic job. But then again, we are limited. Like we have a committee bench, Chandrasekhar, N.R. Ranganathan, who's been now actually running our show on Facebook with so many devotional programs. But handful of people. After them, whom? They too have their own limitations. We too have our own limitations. But the nucleus of these 5 people should turn into at least about 100 people. You must have 100 Professor Manis, you must have 100 Meeras, 100 Ramans, 100 Venkatesh, so that these institutions flourish. Now, when these institutions flourish, your society will flourish, your security, your invisible and visible security will flourish and will increase. Your children will be protected. Your conscience will be well taken care of and you will be a fine human being. Dare not you do anything wrong. Right from your eating habits, your dressing habits, your attitudes, your morality, everything will change. But today we have lost everything. We have lost it. We have lost it to mobiles, yes, and then we find that Saturday, Sundays, weekends, what are we doing? Oh, it's a weekend. Then you must go to some 5-star. Enjoy life. I'm not saying don't enjoy. Enjoy, go to 5-star every day. If you can afford, do it. I'll be too happy. But then do it after doing your duty towards the society. That 25% of your income will contribute to the society, not only in terms of money, but also in terms of physical. See, it's very easy to write a check and give a donation. That won't suffice. Physically participate. That is what God wants you to do. When you are in a temple, remember, your temple doesn't belong to you, doesn't belong to me, doesn't belong to any institution. Once it's a temple, as per our Dharma and as per Kathopanishad, a temple is a place which belongs to God and where God resides. It's a fact. You can ask any Shankaracharya. A temple, wherever it is on the planet Earth, is a place where God resides. So it doesn't belong to anyone. We are only the custodians. God, and we are the chosen ones. God has chosen us to help and to work there. And we are just losing what has been given to us on a platter by God Himself. We are losing it. So, friends, in this pandemic, what we must learn to do is I'm summing up because this is a topic where I can go on for hours and hours together. Learn to live a life of simplicity with complexity. Learn to be very polite to people. Don't be jealous. Don't be envious. Learn to forgive. Yes, forgive people who deserve. Like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel always said, forgiveness is the greatest tool, but never forgive an enemy. Like today, of course, I'm being very frank. Today, if we say, I'll forgive Pakistan, no, certainly not. You need to survive. So forgive people who are worth the forgiveness. Because everybody makes mistakes in life. It's worth forgiving. And get involved in any of the institutions like Hariharaputra, Samaj, and start physically getting involved and doing some service to the society and also contribute. When I say contribution, please don't take it in mind. Jayant Lapsia said, let me write a check of some amount and send it to Samaj. I've done my duty. 0 marks. But giving a check and then saying that, hey, here is my check and here I am physically present to help, 100 marks. So with this, friends, any questions, I will now hand you over back to Professor Mani. He will now moderate the question answer sessions. And I would be more than happy to answer your questions. And more the questions, I will be convinced that, yes, you have taken my talk quite intently and you have listened, not heard. Hearing is something where you hear and it through this ear out. But listening is something which goes here straight into your heart. So over to Professor Mani.
Thank you, Jayant Bhai. I think that was a very, very soul-stirring talk by you, touching so many very, very simple aspects of day-to-day life and how we can make a significant difference if we choose to make our lives more enriching. Thank you so much. And I must assure you, the questions have been pouring while you were speaking because at various points in time, people had some thoughts which they wanted you to highlight a little more on. I'd like to take this question straight away. Could you give us some advice on how to motivate the younger generation to appreciate and practice the Dharma?
Yes, that is the need of the hour, and in fact, that is what I have been discussing with some of the institutional heads as to we should now really try and motivate the youngsters, because where we are heading for, now we have realized that the first speed breaker has come in form of this pandemic to awaken us. Now it's up to the parents to insist. Now what used to happen was, today we are living in an age where we are being ruled by our children. 40 years back, what our parents told us was the commandment. I mean, there was no appeal. What my father told me, I had no appeal. What my mother told me, no appeal. Just blindly follow. Today it's the reverse. Today parents blindly follow what the children tell you. Your children will not listen. For them, religion is a taboo. For them, doing service is a taboo. They feel that, oh, now you have in colleges some project work where you go and do some service in some, like we have people coming to our Samaj once in a blue moon. We have come here. It's a project, we want to do some service. No. So children tell them. First, see that they are out of their mobiles. Disconnect. Start eating on a dining table. Your breakfast, lunches, and dinners. It may not be possible because, yes, many times you say that you eat together, but you are never at home. Business and maybe service may demand that my stay from home may be a little late, but whatever time, whoever is the elder in the family, it's don't pass on the blame that you as a father, you are never at home. But I'm never at home. It's not that I'm gallivanting. I may be in business or I may be in Samaj doing some service. Likewise, you may be doing something. So somebody in the family should take onus and tell the children that, yes, live your life, but at least dedicate 20%. Go today, go to this temple or go and do this service. Or get associated and start doing social service. Forget your mobiles, forget your friends. Your friends, I'm not saying that you distance yourself from your friends. You know, friends are the lifeline of our existence. Certainly not. But have your time with your friends. But then your time with your friends will be much more happier if you do this service. So try and be strict with your child from the young age. Not when he's grown, when he has already reached an age of, say, 20, 21, that time you tell him, and he has already, his subconscious mind is loaded and filled and charged with all garbage and rubbish. At that time, the cleansing process will take another 10 years. By the time you may lose him, he will just walk out. So start inculcating that from the young age. An age where he listens to you, take him, bring him to the temple, bring him to the institution where you're doing service, and keep talking to him every day about the importance of serving people, importance of charity. Now that will register in his subconscious mind. So when he reaches that age of 15, 16, he realizes that, yes, that is what happened to us. Today, fortunately, my parents were totally socially inclined, socially oriented, and they were doing a lot of social service. And my father used to take me to the temple every day. And of course, in school days, no, but Thursday was a holiday for us. Thursday, religiously used to take me to the temple. Sundays, temple. Then whatever functions were there, we were supposed to go with our mothers and help. Now, this should start. Now, every parent should do to the youngsters. And to the children who have grown up, they can only appeal to them that, listen, this pandemic, we would urge you to come back and start serving.
Continuing on that,
Change, and they've changed so drastically that it will take time and will take a hell of a lot of time to bring them back on track.
Continuing on the same question, could you suggest some tips or guidelines on how to actually slow down the fast life that we have all got addicted to?
Number one, this is a question which is running in the minds of people for last so many years. How to slow down? Slow down is, this is the best period God has given you to realize that slow down. Slow down is first, stop aspiring for money and wealth accumulating. Stop thinking that my stocks and my properties I will accumulate and this. Sit down 10 minutes and just draw a chart, do journaling, write down what you want, what is the need. Now today, if I give you a plate full of about, say, 10 vegetables, 10 dals, 10 sambars, 10, you will not be able to eat it, you will not be able to digest it. So chart out your life that this is what you want to live, and you're going to live happily. And then you have to take your family into confidence, which is going to be an hell of a task, because perceptions have changed. The whole gamut of the outlook and approach in last 30 to 40 years has undergone a sea of transformation. So to bring them back on this page is going to take a lot of time. You may succeed, you may not, but try you must. And if you succeed, nothing like it, and you have to convince them that, hey, listen. If not every day, come on, once in a week. Start with once in a week, gradually make it twice, thrice, and then you can see the difference. But you have to change your perceptions. This pandemic, even the children, adult children should realize that this is no joke. Because today we find, even if I am really astonished and amazed that we are living in such a situation where human beings are afraid of human beings. Today, if you walk on a road and some stranger comes your way, you move 10 feet away as if he's an untouchable, and he also moves 10 feet thinking that you are untouchable because you don't know who is the carrier of this virus. So the children should realize that you are living in a world where you have lost your identity. Now, to regain your identity, God wants you to be a perfect human being. Now, if you are walking on a road and people know that this is a man who is serving the society, this is a man who is doing human services for the underprivileged, then dare he move 10 paces behind? No, he will not. He will still walk with his head high, thinking that you will never get coronavirus because you are a protected man. You are doing service to the society, service to mankind, and that is you're doing at the orders of God, and it is his duty to protect you. And trust me, you will never get coronavirus. And even if you get, that will only be God's design to educate others that even if you have coronavirus, my disciple has got coronavirus, but nothing will happen to him. It is not dangerous, like it has been made out to be. Even if you get a coronavirus, don't think that you are not God's man. You are his disciple. But he will then strengthen you internally to say that this virus is nothing but a stupid damn flu, which has been blown out of proportions. So friends, this is what we need to do. Children should realize their responsibilities. They cannot shirk away. If they feel that yes, today, 30 years, 35 years, you'll enjoy. After that, what? Your life is not ending at 35 years, even though it may be unpredictable. But after 35 years, you will rot. You will be depressed. You will be in a state of depression. Don't do that. But if you start living for the society, for the people, for the family, your life is assured for 100 years.
You had rightly said we are living in a very selfish society. How do you really inspire people to help the community without any expectations whatsoever so that we can live a meaningful, purposeful life?
Very simple. Like Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita said that when you look at the actions, the moment you start expecting any action, fruits of your action, the entire your actions get neutralized and it's absolutely gone waste. You have been born to perform a duty. Your duty you have to perform. Take a cricket match. What is the duty of a batsman? To go there and bat. The duty of the bowler is to go and bowl and see that he takes the wicket, he makes the batsman out. Period. Your life is similar to that. Of any sportsman, what is the duty of a hockey forward? He will just take the stick and try to score a goal. He will not run away with the ball to some other, to see a film or to some other ground. And no, his focus, his target is to score a goal. Target of the bowler is to take a wicket. Target of a batsman is to hit a boundary or a six. Likewise, in life, you must have a goal, a target, a fixed target. Then obviously you know where you are. So then you can uplift yourself. But today we don't have targets. Today we don't have goals. We don't have aspirations. We don't have ambitions. Ambitions, aspirations, we have, yes, but what are those? Those are of having a high-end mobile, living a life, going to five-star hotels, fine dining, wearing exotic clothes, splurging money on parties. Now, these are the aspirations and ambitions which are negative and which are demonic in nature. Shun these ambitions and aspirations and learn to live a life of simplicity. have friends, have everything. But once you learn to eat simple things which are there, go to the topmost of the dietitian. Today, why? 40 years back, you never had a dietitian. Today, you need a dietitian. Tell you what you should eat. I don't know how many of you have heard Rajita Divekar, one of the leading dietitians. She says that eat what is there. Eat what nature is providing. And geographically and demographically, you could see that. If you are living in a state like Maharashtra, you should eat what is the produce of Maharashtra. If you're living in Kerala, they have coconut oil, even raw coconut oil with the FFA, free fatty acid content of 5%, will make their heart strong. But if I eat coconut oil of FFA 5%, I'll get an attack. In Maharashtra, I cannot. So geographically, eat what is you are bound to eat. Eat your dal, chawal, roti, ghee. It's good for health, but today it's a misnomer. Today, children don't want to eat chapatis. Oh, this food, no. You want to eat pastas, you want to eat pizzas, you want to eat all those stuff, cheesy stuff, which is full of cholesterol. And they forget that these are the things which create and generate negativity in the system. They will not believe it, but it's a fact. Science says it. Living in Maharashtra, you're going to eat a food of an Italian or a food of a Mexican or a food of an Ethiopian. I mean, think for yourself where we are educated. You are IIM, MIT. Where is your education gone? Simple. Yes.
Mr. Sundararajan, who is with us here in the studios in Zoom, wishes to ask a question. Mr. Sundararajan, you can unmute and go ahead, please. All right. I think while he is reaching his question, some of the viewers wish to know what are some of the books that inspired you so that we could also read them and get inspired.
There are various philosophical and spiritual books. Spiritual books are many. You can read books written by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. You can read the Bhagavad Gita. Various commentaries are there written by various, learned masters. Then you have great authors like Robin Sharma. I mean, who gives a lot of philosophical advice on, but his advice is not on the lines of spirituality. Yes, it has a little bit of spirituality, but practicality of life. There, of course, it's more towards your business or orientation and uplifting your confidence levels, but it's equally required. So there are, just walk into any library, observe through various commentaries on Bhagavad Gita's and whichever faith you are, for Jainism and all, you have great books. Just read them and not once, keep reading them and you will realize that the life you are living in. Yes, Mr. Sundarajan.
Yes, sir. Happy morning. I'm Sundarajan from Chennai.
Yes.
The thing is, you were asking about how to inculcate Dharma into the minds of people. If you take in churches, every week they have Bible class. Same way in Muslims. But in Hindus, what do we have for the children? Previously, we used to have some moral classes in the schools. I don't know whether it is existing. But in every school, Hindu school at least, in every school, we have to teach children Veda and Upanishad. And parents are very much interested for their children to know about it. If your organization put forth this suggestion, certainly Hinduism will definitely grow, and Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, whatever we are talking about, will definitely go in a long way. Today we are very frightened to say, even as a Hindu, this is the situation in our country, and this should change. We will have to teach our people. Even the other religion people will have to get converted into Hinduism. This is my thought for a very long time. I had an opportunity with because of Mr. Jayant. I am very thankful to him. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Sundarajan, you have hit the nail on the head. And as I've been saying, that we are living actually on a ticking bomb. 10 years down the line, our Hinduism will be extinct. And of course, I worship and respect each and every religion, and we Hindus must do that. No religion is inferior, no religion is superior. Each are on par with one another. Having said that, Hinduism, let us not forget that we are living in the land of Hindus. We are Hindus. And as you rightly said, that Christians have this Bible, people going to church every Sunday, come what may, right from youngster to the old, 90-year-old makes it a point to go to a church. Very good. Muslims are very, very sincere in their prayers. They go to the mosques every Friday. And during Ramzan, 45 days of intense prayers. Jainism has its own Paryushan where they observe upas, but it's of 8 days. But when it comes to a section of Hindus, we had Vedic Pathshalas, which are now extinct. Only few are being run, maybe in few madams like Sringeri and Kanchi, and maybe in Mettu, which is a Sanskrit village, but you don't have Pathshalas. Unfortunately, what has happened is the Western influence on our Hindus has been so much, and the most of our people, our brethren Hindus who are working for these MNCs, which are controlled by foreign company, headquartered in foreign countries, their religion is looked down upon and Hinduism is a taboo. So they feel that it's better to suppress their religion. And then this is where I'm telling you that money and position is not everything. That today, if I am working for an ex-company, multinational company, which has got a headquarters, say, somewhere in Switzerland or somewhere in Russia, and I'm working for them, they will not allow me to contribute towards Hinduism. They will not allow me to participate in Hindu rituals. But we Hindus should now come out. We were ruled by Mughals. We were ruled by British. Now, indirectly, we are being ruled by MNCs. No harm in that. Let them come and work here and provide work. They provide employment to 20,000s or lakhs of people. Good. But let them not force people. And we have to now change. We have to now introspect and change and say that, yes, we will work for you. We will do dedicated service. But we will follow our Dharma. Otherwise, 10 years down the line, you ask any institutional head, religious institutional head, there is no second line. There are no youngsters in religious field. Because unfortunately, when Lord Krishna, in those days, there were that 4 systems. You had the Shudras, the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. Each one had a specific duty. Now, this was actually diluted and abused by our own people down the line. Now, that had great intrinsic value. Shudra means he had to do only that duty. Now, what is the duty of a Brahmin priest? He has to do only look after the temple service and do service of the religious nature. But in today's world, the priests themselves, with due respects to them, every priest, I don't blame them. Their children are studying abroad. They don't want to continue the family traditions. Now, that is where the erosion of Hinduism starts to take place. Like in one of the talks, couple of months back, I was saying, let us talk about the Vadiyars in our South Indian, Tamil, Vadiyar priest or any priest. Which priest today wants to work in a temple? No one. Which is shocking, which is an irony, because you don't want to work in a place of God. You want to make money. Because you say, no, I want to send my son abroad. I want to send my daughter abroad. I want to spend so many lakhs on my daughter's wedding. This is not what the Brahmin was born for. And he has his days marked. When he goes to Chitragupta, he knows that he's heading for disaster. There's no 2 ways about it. So you are absolutely right. It's up to us that we should try to motivate, go and talk to the institutions, our Hindu institutions, and tell the principals that, hey, listen, have a talk, have some classes and send children to do service in the temples and institutions which are religiously inclined, so that their interest and the affinity will be sustained, and then we can carry on. It's a very good point you have raised, Mr. Sundarajan.
Jayant, another question in the similar direction is, while we appreciate what you're saying makes great sense, please suggest some guidelines to us as to how we can eliminate distractions that all of us are now addicted to.
Again, this is it's very, very, very simple. Like there was a great saying that an habitual smoker went to a guru and he said, well, I want to quit smoking, but I can't. Every time that urge, I feel, but then somehow. So he then took him to a pillar. He said, okay, hold the pillar. Just hold it with both your hands. And it's like that you're holding on to the pillar. And he said, clasp your hands tightly and now try to move. He said, no, I can't because I've been held by the pillar. He said, no, move. He said, no, I can't because you have told me to, hold it so tightly and clasp my hands that I'm not able to move. He said, okay, now remove your hands. Move. Come out. This is what happened. This is in your mind. Just like you're holding the pillar, just leave it. Leave this distraction. Start from now. Just leave it aside. Don't look at it for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Heavens won't fall. And trust me, law of nature. You have Murphy's law. You have so many laws, but law of God, Bhagavan will always ensure that the call which you must get, you will attend. But we attend irrelevant calls. Just taking 1 minute, I'll tell you a classic example. 2006 or 7, I don't remember the year, but this is worth listening. There were heavy floods in Bombay, rains. It was during monsoon, I think 2006. Heavy rains, floods everywhere. The whole city was submerged. And we had our office in Masjid Bandar. I was coming back and got stranded in Sibri. So I had to park my car somewhere because the whole road ahead was flooded and my car got stuck. Got out of the car, pushed it on the side and then waded through from Sibri, walked home. My mobile I'd put it in a plastic and kept it, my purse, everything. And when I reached home, everything stopped. Landlines were out, mobiles were not functioning. So forgot. After about half an hour, I got a call on my mobile. I was shocked because this was an SOS call from one of the custom commissioners who was stranded in Bikroli. And he was a diabetic patient. He called me, he says, listen, my life is in danger and you have to help me. Please talk to somebody in Godrej and ask them to take me inside and give me some, treatment or something to eat. Otherwise, I will collapse because there's nothing in the car. I said, sir, but my mobile, this is the first call I've got in last 3 hours. He said, no, I don't know. I said, let me try. Landlines are out. Then I said, okay. Then I tried ringing up the Godrej people, the president from my mobile, and trust me, 6 calls, all spot on, went through. I could reach the concerned people. They picked him up from the crowded highway, took him to the Godrej factory, gave him first aid, food, everything, whole night, and his life was saved. Now, this is the act of God. A mobile which was not functioning for 4 hours. I couldn't call up my family to tell them that I am stranded in Sibri. My mobiles are down, no signals. I came home, no signals. But this, God made me accept the phone and also not only accept, make calls. And even the people in Godrej were surprised at how my calls reached them because they were not able to receive calls. Now, this is, friends, this will happen to you. If you leave your mobile and forget it, you trust me, you will be able to attend to it, and it will come to you on its own. God will see that you will, but don't go and every second go and peeping and looking at your mobile. Don't be a victim. And you start doing that, start daily about 3 hours sacrifice, 4 hours digital fasting. Night though you must, night 10 to morning 7, you must not. Night 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, getting in, watching WhatsApp, no. But if from today, if you start giving up your mobiles and instead of that 3-4 hours, talk with your family, talk with whoever you are with. If your family or friend or anybody, any known person you are with, start conversing. See, speaking, learn to speak. Otherwise, the time will come when you will become dumb and deaf because you won't listen, you won't speak. So give up your mobiles, start this experiment now. 3 hours a day, make it 4, 5, 6, 7, and use it only for communication. See the difference. And trust me, within 1 week, you will call me up and tell me, thank you very much. My life is more at peace.
Wonderful.
Yes, Professor,
Wonderful.
next.
All right. Just for the benefit of all our viewers, one of our senior participants, who's also a very good friend of the Samaj, Mr. Ayya Subramaniam, has put in the chat box a list of good books which he has recommended based on his experience. You all can read it in your Zoom as well as your Facebook chat boxes. The next question that's coming up is, it is rightly said that we are actually to be maintaining physical distance, not social distance. I think we have taken the word social distancing very seriously. Would you like to give us some of your inputs on this thought?
Exactly, precisely. I told you at the beginning that social distancing is a misnomer. I mean, we have already distanced ourselves emotionally and mentally. Yes, sentimentally, we have distanced ourselves long back from the day we became addicted to mobile televisions and internet. And very rightly said that social distancing is wrong. It's a physical distancing, but the word social distancing has been brought in because in a society, when you're moving in a social environment, that is where they meant, the world universally meant was that you socially distance yourself. When you're in a society, when you're moving in social circles, you distance yourself. But unfortunately, I mean, the powers that be who brought this out, they didn't realize that you are already, your distance sentimentally and emotionally. So all they need to have told you was that physically you maintain a distance of say 1 meter. That's a very, very good point. Well taken.
So a lot of things which you said, I believe, are to be internalized in the subconscious mind. Would you like to share some guidelines on how we can do it?
100%. Your subconscious mind is your powerhouse. It stores everything you see, every visual you see, imagination. Start imagining positive things. If youngsters today, those who feel that they have missed out and those who have not been able to do any service, start imagining, visualizing that you are in Hariharaputra Bhajan Samaj, you are doing this service, you are serving people, you are going out seeking contributions, you are seeking donations, you are going out and helping the underprivileged children, education. Start visualizing that you are in a state of peace, you are a state of calm. Start imagining and visualizing that you are healthy, you will not be impacted with the virus. 100% you will not, because the subconscious mind is a tool given by Lord Almighty to see that it has total control over you and you will not get impacted. The more you, that it is known as affirmations, the more affirmations, positive affirmations you make, that yes, I am absolutely fine, I am absolutely at peace, I am here. Even you can do it every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes in your prayer room, that I will keep my calm, I will not lose my cool, I will not run after wealth, I will not. Then you see the difference it makes in your life. Your subconscious mind will take over. And then you will start following that pattern. It's a very simple science. It's not a rocket science. Unfortunately, we don't believe it because it's so simple. Now, if the same subconscious mind were to be given to you at a cost of say 1 lakh rupees, you would find a big queue. Because it's available free, it has got no value.
The next question is as follows. Please suggest how we should inculcate the spirit of respecting the very society that we live in. I think we take it for granted.
Absolutely. Respecting the society is a thing where you should start first learning to respect yourself. Now, this is a very profound statement, friends. When I say start respecting yourself is realize that you are a human being born with tremendous intellect, tremendous powers, tremendous traits, and you are a child of God. You are not a child of a demon. But today we are acting as we are children of demons. Now, once you start respecting yourself and you are away from these mobiles and televisions and internets, that means you have started respecting yourself. That means you know that you have something to do with yourself, towards your family, and towards your society. Now, once you do that, once you start respecting others, automatically others will start respecting you. It's very simple, give and take. So when you be polite, and if you don't have that ego, that I know it all attitude, today you find 90% of the people having this attitude of I know it all. அரே ஏ கே बोलने वाला है, இவன் யாரையா சொல்றதுக்கு, எனக்கு எல்லாம் தெரியும். That attitude is detrimental to your growth and to your progress. Yes, you may know everything, but there is no harm in listening to somebody and then trying to take what is relevant and not. Okay, you may find many things which may not be relevant. So be it. You have heard it, fine. It has given you some insights. Maybe at a future date, you can think of, I heard this. Yes, today it is applicable. Fine, so be it. If you find it's not of any use to you, so just leave it. But start respecting. The moment you start respecting yourself, start with respecting yourself by being a total free man, free from all addictions. Free from addictions means addictions of mobile, addictions of internet, addictions of Facebook, of your selfies or your television. Today, even I am on Facebook, I see people posting their photographs in different forms and different dresses and all. Self-glorification. Why? So all these things, if you stop and start praising others, gratitude, attitude of gratitude, develop that attitude of gratitude in you. Like we do in Samaj. Always after every event, our managing committee decides that yes, we have to thank every volunteer, every worker. So we thank them, we thank them by, okay, some small gift, we have a feast, attitude of gratitude, so that you inspire them. So these are some of the things which are very simple. Start learning to appreciate. Don't have this superiority complex. Hey, how do I appreciate here? See, today we, like in my last talk, I said, we suppress our expressions. Hey, if I tell him, he will get evil eyes. If I tell him this goodness, or if I do this, people will be jealous, or I don't want to do it. Hey, I felt that they will think that I am very close to him, or hey, he will feel that I am his chamcha. Stupid. Express your heart out, and then that is where the goodness in you will explode, and you will find that positivity coming back to you. Now, this is where, which is rampant, I have seen in society, very places. You find people, shirking away from praising others because they feel it's like they are up and that fellow has done his duty. So first, respect yourself and start respecting others. Game over. Tell me, Professor.
Related question, how do I increase my tolerance factor? People tend to be very impatient in today's world. Please give us some guidelines.
Again, this is, see, every aspect of our lives is, God has made it so simple, but we have made it very complex. One is, today, why we have lost our tolerance power is because we have given our power, we have sold, we have become slaves to mobiles, to internet, to Facebook, to televisions, that we have lost our values, our ethics, our ethos. We have lost ourselves. We don't know who we are. So when I have become addicted to this, I want, now this is ruling me, my mobile is ruling me, my internet is ruling me, my Facebook is ruling me, my TV. So any sort of distraction when I am with these digital elements, I lose patience. I say, what the hell, yaar? You are so attached to it. This has become a part and parcel of your life. This has become like your wife or your husband or your father or your mother, more than that. Now, once you are distracted, you lose your temper. Now, likewise, if you're going for a talk and beyond 5 minutes, you say, what the hell, yaar? I can't take it about. He's going on talking. I've been a victim of that. In Samaj, when I talk, people say, patient, he goes on talking. But you're talking with passion, you're talking from the heart, you're trying to tell people. Why? Because you know that if you lose the 6th minute, you're going to miss out on reading WhatsApp messages, you are going to miss out reading on Facebook. How many people have liked your posts? How many people have commented on your posts? And then if somebody has not commented, you call up and tell him, hey, why have you not commented? You feel bad. It hurts your ego. Now, all these things, if you stop and learn simple, be yourself. Once you are away from this and yourself, you are not controlled by anyone. You control yourself. You control them. Don't allow them to control you. Once you control them, you see life is very simple. Just leave them, drop them like a hot potato. and see life changing. Very simple. Next.
Uh, the last question that I have for now is as follows. It is rightly said that when your standard of living increases, also increase the standard of giving. How do we actually inspire people to do this?
That's a very, very profound question. Standard of living increasing and standard of giving. It should be other way around. Your standard of giving should increase, and that should actually result in your standard of living increasing. See, as per Hindu Dharma and as per what Lord Krishna has stated in Bhagavad Gita, that standard of living is an absolute misnomer. What is standard of living? Standard of living is that living with your father, mother, your siblings. And now in today's world, we measure standard of living with what type of flat we are in, whether it is 3 BHK, 4 BHK, what type of, whether it's a tower, what cars we have, whether it's a BMW or a Toyota or whichever, or what clubs we are affiliated to, or that is not standard of living. Standard of living means you are the living with contentment is as per our Dharma. Manuals prescribe, scriptures prescribe that standard of living means living in a contentment zone. Not in this coronavirus containment zone. I am not, that is containment. I am talking about contentment zone. That is standard of living. Now that standard of living, once you measure then, and you start giving to the society, then your standard of living spiritually elevates to a level where your ticket to attain moksha is confirmed. No cancellations. So don't be under that impression that standard of living means, no, this is a fact. You ask anyone, hey, standard is the high standard of living, because what is living in a 4 BHK duplex house? He has got, BMW, he has got Mercedes. He goes only by business class, and he is affiliated to 5 big clubs, Bombay Gymkhana, CCI, this, that. No, this is not standard of living. This is false living. This is living in a world of Maya. But when you are in a state, yes, be like, a normal person. Hey, this fellow is very, very, very spiritual, very socially inclined. He's helping others. He's doing service. He's helping his family. He's very down to earth. He's very polite. Now, this is, you gauge that as a standard of living, not by material things. But unfortunately, in today's world, we are gauging standard of living with material things.
Thank you so much, Jayant. I'm sure all of us feel very charged up and inspired at the end of this wonderful session. There are still a couple of questions which are coming in, but I think in all fairness to what is called self-discipline, we started on time, and I think we should also end on time with due respects to all your time and the time of our distinguished speaker, Jayant Lapsia. If I were to quickly summarize, I'm going to just take a line of what Jayant said right in the ending. I think all of us have perhaps by default ended up in what we call containment zones. We need to move into contentment zones. And the right way to do that is understanding self, focusing our energies on our self-development. I think more than often, the society has brought us to such a situation. We always expect somebody else to change. We don't want to change. And therefore, in this process, all that we want to do remains undone. Thank you, Jayant, for such an inspirational session full of very practical suggestions. Sometimes we feel that these are very difficult to implement in today's rat race. But as you rightly said, you have to start looking inward. One has to introspect and find the way ahead. The most critical takeaway for me is the point that he made. Are we caring for people around us, starting with ourselves? A very beautiful quote I had read many years ago came to mind when I heard Jayant saying this. That is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think thank you for reminding us about this on behalf of all of us at the Shree Hariharaputra Bhajan Samaj, as well as all of us who were there on the Facebook Live, as well as the Zoom session. Thank you, Jayant, for this wonderful session. We looked up to you for many more such discourses, if I may use the word, in time to come. In the meantime,
I would like to thank my own institution, Sri Hariharaputra Bhajan Samaj, and thank you and all the members for giving me this opportunity. And it's a very passionate subject, very close to my heart. And yes, I would love to go on talking. And yes, today I feel frustrated that somebody should speak. And I don't mind. I mean, I don't even, I don't look at getting accolades or appreciation or applauses. But idea is that, like one Mr. Sundarajan from Chennai rightly pointed out, that Hindu Dharma is eroding. And somebody should take it up, and there should be a change. You must have more and more speakers speaking on this subject and trying to detoxify people from digital distractions and getting them involved into societal work, so that our society blooms, our Hindu Dharma is sustained, and we become good human beings. Today, we start respecting our family members, we start respecting ourselves, and society becomes a good place to live in. Well, friends, thank you very much. Have a very good lunch. And after lunch, please start your detoxification. Start giving up the mobiles from right now. Let me see how many of you. And after 1 week, please come back to me with your positive comments. Thank you. Swami Sharana.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.